Another thing from Rivals Week that also stood out to me, Chance, was uh, Joel Embiid, man. That
Dude, this
dude.
is one thing I was going to say to your point about the rivalries dying off. I do agree with you, but I do think we have a chance to spark this back up with the age of social media with guys like
Yeah.
Joel and Kevin Durant, because man, there's some guys that are far willing to troll and go after it on social media. And some of Joel's celebrations, that was just amazing.
Oh man, but and like and I'm not even talking about specifically just that game, but the game against Jokic. Like
Oh yeah.
I I felt like Embiid came out there and said, "I'm about to whoop this boy's ass today
Oh
to
yeah.
prove a
That
point."
that was him saying like I should finally be the MVP after all this time taking the back seat. Like, and it's hard to argue. Like, I think they might be the top two right now. I'm still,
Yeah,
big on Jokic. We've had this debate before. I'm pretty high on him as an MVP still, but with performances like that, I think it really matters. And I
yeah,
really factor in the head-to-head matchups a lot, like when you go at
hmm,
each other, because the NBA regular season has gotten so devalued a lot. Like when guys are really like amped up to play in these big games and these big matchups, like that means a lot to me. Not that I'm a voter or anything, but if I was, like that would weigh heavily on me. And I thought that was awesome. Like he was going after him.
Oh man, it was just fun to watch, and I think a lot of this too. The timing was perfect. All the All Star starters had just been named, uh,
Yep.
and then Embiid gets snubbed basically because of the voting parameters, right?
I
Of
still can't believe he's not a starter. That is insane to me.
it it's crazy because you sit here and if I said Chance name 5, 6 of the best players in the league, Joel, it's not going to be too long before you get to Joel Embiid. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
not to mention just the Eastern Conference. Like he's a top
Right.
5 or 6 in the entire league,
It,
and
they're,
he's not a starter. It's just wild.
yeah, man, it's so crazy to me on that. I think at
I
some point they'll probably will figure it out and they'll just say, "All right, 5 best."
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like we should be at the point by now because for one, like no one takes the All-Star game that seriously. Like another
uh-huh.
big hot take for me is I don't even think they should matter that much. I think All NBA is like a much more like credible,
Oh yeah,
verifiable
yeah, yeah,
award
yeah,
than the
yeah.
All-Star. So for me, I think just let it be the best five. If three of those happen to be centers, then let the three centers go out there and play. It's not like it's a big intense game. It has no real, ramifications to the game. Just let it be the five best from the East, the five best from the West. I do like the picking the teams an hour before the game. I think that'll be pretty fun. But
Yeah.
Embiid should be a starter. He should be one of the guys lined up on the wall ready to get picked, and it's a shame that he's not. It's just absolutely crazy.
Well, and I also think with how they've changed the format to where you've got two captains now, it the positions doesn't really matter at this point because if you're a
Yeah,
smart captain, if somebody goes and they pick a big, you're like, okay, I probably need to go pick me a big too. Like you're
right.
gonna you're gonna make sure your team is balanced. You're right,
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really matter. Like if there's three centers that are in the pool for them to pick from, then they can decide how to play it out from there. But it's not like they're all going to be from the Eastern Conference because they're not even playing together. Like you said, they're drafted. So I think it's absolutely insane. And no
hmm.
discredit to the other Eastern Conference starters. Like they all deserved it too. But like I would replace one of the guards for Embiid if I had the opportunity. Like it should just be the five best at this point for
Who
sure.
would you replace?
I'd probably replace. You could go Kyrie for games missed, even though he was amazing, like in the games that he did play. But honestly, him or Mitchell, like I'd replace either one of those for Embiid. Like Embiid is a
Yeah,
top 2 or 3 player in the East, so I would replace any of them for either of the guards
yeah,
for Embiid.
I would too.